Hello. Let's go ahead and get started in a seated position. Take a moment here to find a comfortable seat. Bring your hands to palm center. Go ahead and close your eyes. Just focus on your breath here for a moment. Taking some inhales and exhale. Inhale and audible exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and take 2 more breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. On your next exhale, switch to breathing out of your nose. Maybe take a moment here to set your intention for the day. What brought you to your mat? What motivated you to get on your mat today? Whatever it was, hold on to that and carry it with you as you finish a strong practice. Let's take one last inhale and exhale together. And exhale. Now let your hands rest on your knees. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Roll your chin towards the chest. Left ear to left shoulder. Roll your chin towards your chest. Right ear to right shoulder. And rotate chin to chest. Left ear to left shoulder. Rotate down and just let your head hang. Chin to chest. Go ahead and take your gaze up. Slightly begin to twist your head over to the right, taking your gaze over the right shoulder. Inhale back to the center. And take that gaze over to the left. And back in the center. Go ahead and drop your right ear to your right shoulder using your right hand. Slowly just a little motivation to that left side of the neck and a little love to the left side of the neck there. Inhale up. And go ahead and drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Taking your left hand, if you would like, over to the side of your head to get a nice little stretch there in the right neck. We don't let that go. So go ahead and inhale those arms up. Exhale, cactus those arms. Inhale, arms up. And forward fold. Just hold here, breathing in and out. Nice and steady breaths. Slowly begin to walk those hands back towards you. And from here, let's Go ahead and take your left hand to the outside of the right knee, bringing that right hand behind you, taking that gaze over your right shoulder. Slowly begin to return that right hand to the right knee, left hand to the left knee. Inhale those arms up. Cactus those arms. Inhale those arms up. And let's do another forward fold here. From here, slowly begin to walk those hands back towards center, taking that right hand outside of the left knee, left hand behind you. Gaze over that left shoulder. Slowly begin to bring that left hand back. Just rock out your shoulders just a little bit, rotating the shoulders forward and rotating the shoulders backwards. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, cactus those arms. Inhale those arms up. And exhale, palm center. Taking your hands to the outside of your knees. Go ahead and inhale up the chin, arch the back, or seated cat-cow. Exhale, round that back, chin to chest. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, round that back. Inhale, taking your gaze up. Exhale, rounding the back. Maybe you begin to make some circles. Remembering to keep a steady breath as you move. If you rotated in one direction, go ahead and balance out, rotating the opposite direction. Take any last moment and movements that you need here. Look out all the kinks. If you had maybe a long work day, you're sitting for a long period of time, you just have some tension in your neck, shoulder blades. Take a little moment to move it out, work it all out. All right, now we'll meet in tabletop. On tabletop, go ahead and center your left hand, inhaling that right arm up. And go ahead and plant that right hand back down, centering the right hand. Inhale that left arm up. Go ahead and plant that left hand back on the ground. From tabletop, inhale that chin up, arch the back. Exhale, chin to chest. Nice round curve here, spine. Inhale, cat. And exhale into cow. Inhale into cat. And exhale into cow. Take these last couple breaths to take any additional movements that you may need in your cat and cow, any variation of cat and cow that you might need. Maybe sway your hips left and right. Maybe take some circles. Just make sure you're balancing yourself out. Go ahead and spread those knees. Take a seat. And we'll meet here in child's pose, walking those hands out towards the top of your mat. Slowly begin to walk your hands back. We'll meet in tabletop, drifting that right arm up. Gaze goes up towards the right hand. This time as you float your hand down, go ahead and thread the needle, taking your right hand underneath the left arm and over towards your left hand side. Right ear touches the mat. Left hand can stay put, or you can feel free to walk it out towards the top of the mat. If you would like, go ahead and take a little bind, floating that left arm up, bringing the back of your left hand over to your right hip, and opening that shoulder towards the ceiling. If you took the bind, slowly begin to move your hand back out. If your hand was out towards the top of your mat, begin to walk your hand back towards your center point, using your left hand as a foundation point. Go ahead and lift that right arm back up towards the sky. Gaze up. Inhale and exhale, planting that right hand back down on the ground. Inhale that left arm up towards the sky. Gaze goes up with the hand. And as you begin to slowly come back down towards the ground, go ahead and weave that left arm under the right arm, bringing your left ear to the mat. Right hand stays put. If you took it on the other side, go ahead and walk that right arm out towards the top of your mat. And if you would like a little bit more, float that right arm up, bringing the back of your right hand to your left hip, opening up that shoulder here. I'm going to float that right arm up, bringing that hand back, plant it on the mat, and bringing that left hand out. From tabletop, let's do another cat. Inhale the chin up. Exhale, round that back. Inhale, chin up. Exhale, round that back. Maybe you begin to get a little bit more fluid in your cat-cows. One continuous motion. Inhaling on the cat. Exhaling as you round your back. Last one here. And when you push through tabletop, go ahead and tuck your toes and push up into downward dog. Take a slight bend in your right knee. Lowering that left heel a little bit closer to the mat. Push back through static downward dog. Lowering that left knee, taking a bend in the left knee, lowering that right heel a little bit closer to the mat. Static dog. Take one more on each side. This time as you bend your right knee, maybe gaze under that left elbow, or in that left underarm. Back to static dog. And take a slight bend in that left knee, taking the gaze underneath your right underarm. We'll meet here in static dog. At the end of your next exhale, go ahead and slowly begin to walk your feet up to the back of your wrists. We'll meet here in forward fold. Just hang heavy. Maybe you start to sway back and forth. Maybe you grab for opposite elbows, ragdoll. From forward fold, slowly begin to lift one vertebrae at a time. Inhaling those arms up, Tadasana. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, Tadasana. On an exhale, forward fold through the center. And on the inhale, flat back, bringing the front of your palms to the front of your calves. Exhale, forward fold. Taking a step back into plank. Chaturanga, bending at the elbow. Flipping those feet. Up dog. Tuck those toes. Downward dog. At the end of your next exhale, walk your feet up to meet the back of your hands. Hang here in ragdoll. Maybe this time, tucking your hands underneath your feet. The back of your palms are on the mat. Toes meet the wrists. Go ahead and release your palms from underneath your hands and slowly begin to rise one vertebrae at a time. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale those arms up. And forward fold through the center on an exhale. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Halfway lift, palms to the front. Exhale, forward fold. Step back into plank. Chaturanga. Into up dog. Tuck those toes. Meet in downward dog. From downward dog, go ahead and center your left foot. Inhale that right leg up. Three-legged dog. You take a bend at the knee and just do some hip circles here with the right knee. Rotate and go in the opposite direction. Inhale that leg up. And go ahead and step that right leg through. For a lunge here, you're going to inhale up into crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Taking that gaze over the right palm, right through the center. Reverse warrior, flipping that front palm, bringing that palm up above you, sliding that left hand down the leg, and hold. Gaze is up towards your right hand. Extended side angle, bringing that right forearm to the right leg, extending that left arm up towards, up over your head. From here, going to extend that front leg straight, bringing your hand to the ground. Your hand can be for triangle. Your hand can be to the ground. Your hand could be rested on your shin. Left arm is straight up towards the sky. Gaze is up towards your left hand. Floating those arms up. Rotating. Cartwheeling those hands down to frame that foot in the front. Go ahead and extend that right leg up. And plant that right foot down. Inhale here in downward dog. And at the end of your next exhale, you can either walk or hop your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to plank. And you can push back into downward dog or go ahead and take your chaturanga if you would like. We'll all meet here in downward dog. Centering that right foot. Inhale that left leg up. Go ahead and bend at the knee. And slowly begin to take some hip circles, the left leg. Inhale that left leg up. And sweep that left leg through, planting that foot right between your hands. From a high lunge here, we're going to inhale up into crescent. And exhale, warrior two on the left hand side. Taking your gaze over your left middle finger. Knee is bent at a 90-degree angle in the front, tucking that tail. Right arm is out to a T just behind you. Reverse warrior, flip that palm, taking that right arm down behind you. Left arm floats up above you. And go ahead and float that left arm down to meet the knee. Right arm comes and floats right above your head towards the ceiling. Gaze goes up. Extended side angle. Go ahead and straighten out that front leg, that left leg. Bringing your hand down to meet the mat or to your shin, whatever's most comfortable to you. Triangle pose. Gaze goes up towards the hand that's towards the ceiling, towards your right hand. On an inhale, go ahead and float back up. And cartwheel those arms down. Frame that foot in the front. Extend, lifting that leg up, three-legged dog. And plant that foot, downward dog. From downward dog, let's go ahead and shift into a plank. And exhale into downward dog. Shift forward into the plank. And exhale, downward dog. Shift forward into a plank. And exhale, downward dog. On your next exhale, walk or hop your feet to meet the back of your hands. Slowly begin to rise. Inhale those arms up above you. Exhale, cactus those arms. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands. Take a step back into plank. And chaturanga or meet in down dog. Let's go ahead and center that left foot. Inhale that right leg up. Exhale, plant that right foot in between. Inhale up to crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Flip that palm. Inhale, reverse warrior. Bringing that front arm to meet your knee. Go ahead and meet an extended angle, side angle. Straightening out that right leg. We'll meet in triangle, bringing that palm to the ground. Left arm extends above you. And from here, you're going to rotate, taking your left hand just to the outside of your right foot for revolve triangle, bringing that right hand up behind you. Maybe you slide your back foot a little bit closer to the front. Go ahead and plant that right hand down. Yeah. From a high lunge here, step that right foot back, three-legged dog, and plant that left foot, or that right foot. Inhale that left leg up. Sweep your left leg through to a high lunge. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, warrior two on the left-hand side. Flipping that palm. Reverse warrior. On an inhale, bringing that forearm to meet the knee. Right arm floats up above you. Straightening out that left leg. Go ahead and bring that left palm down to the ground. Right palm stays up towards the sky. Slowly begin to shift, bringing that right hand down to the ground. Eventually, maybe your right hand reaches the outside of your left foot and your left arm floats up to the sky. Revolve triangle. Bring that left hand back down. Frame that left foot. Inhale that left leg back. Three-legged dog. And downward dog. On your next inhale, on your next exhale, go ahead and walk your feet to meet your hands. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale those arms up. Forward fold through the center. Halfway lift. Forward fold, planting those hands. From here, you're going to plant your right hand and your left foot. You're just going to float your right leg up. Left hand stays planted, left foot stays planted. And go ahead and float that right arm up. Half moon. Go ahead and bring that right foot to meet the left. Right hand goes down and just hang here. Maybe you grab for opposite elbows. Slowly begin to rise, one vertebrae at a time. Inhale those arms up. Exhale. Inhale those arms up. Forward fold through the center. So halfway lift, bringing the front of your palms to the front of your calves, flat back. Forward fold. And keeping your right hand and right foot planted this time. Slowly begin to float your left leg up and float your right or your left arm up for half moon on the left hand side. Float that left leg down, left arm down. Slowly begin to rise one vertebrae at a time. Inhale those arms up. And from here, we're going to warrior three. Slowly begin to float your right foot off of the mat. Hands are up above you. You can cross up the thumbs. And begin to hinge at the waist, bringing your arms closer to the ground, floating your foot further away from the ground. Warrior 3. Slowly begin to float your hands down towards the ground, leaving your foot in the sky. Maybe you wrap one arm around, maybe you wrap the other arm around. Do your variation of standing split. Float that right foot down, high lunge. Inhale that left leg up. And plant that foot, downward dog. Slowly begin to walk your feet to meet your hands. Inhale up, one vertebrae at a time. Inhale those arms up. Bringing those hands to meet. Thumbs cross. We're gonna do warrior on the other side, planting that right foot. Slowly begin to let that left leg float up from the ground, hinging at the waist. Slowly begin to let those hands float closer towards the ground. Left leg floats up. Maybe you wrap your right hand around that ankle shin. Maybe you take your left leg or left hand around your shin. Standing split on the right hand side. Release, letting that left leg come back into a lunge. Inhale that right leg up. Exhale, downward dog. The end of your next exhale, float or hop to the front of your mat. Inhaling those arms up. Exhale, cactus. Inhaling those arms up. Forward fold through the center. Inhaling, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. From here, go ahead and float all the way up, one vertebrae at a time. We'll meet in mountain pose. From mountain, we're gonna make a solid foundation with your left foot, making sure you feel all the pressure points on your foot, all four corners are nice and grounded. Slowly begin to either angle your right foot up towards the ankle. You can bring your right foot directly on the side of the calf, or if you would like, you can go into a full expression of tree, bringing your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Bring your hands to center, prayer center. If you would like, you can close your eyes. If you like a little bit more, maybe you raise your hands up and slowly begin to sway the branches of your tree. We'll all meet here with our hands in the center and release your foot to a 90-degree angle in front of you. From there, release your hands, taking your index finger and your pointer finger in between to grab your big toe. And go ahead and extend that leg out to the side. Maybe you bring your left hand to your hip for stability. Maybe you leave your knee bent here. Just play with it and see your comfort level. From that forward ankle, slowly plant your foot back on the ground. Wiggle everything out. And let's go ahead and do tree on the left-hand side. Once again, bringing the sole of your left foot either to your ankle, the side of your calf, or all the way up to the side of your thigh. Just making sure you're steering clear of any direct side contact on that knee joint. Go ahead and bring your hands to palms to center, and close your eyes. If you did on the other side, maybe you release your hands. Slowly let the trees of your branch sway from back side to side. Work your hands back to palm center. Release your knee in front of you. And as you release your hands, using the index and pointer finger on your left hand side, take a hold of your big toe. Maybe you bring your right hand to your right hip. Feel free to stay here, opening your knee out towards the side and or extending your leg straight out to your left hand side. Go ahead and release that foot to the ground. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, cactus those arms. Inhale those arms up. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. With your hands planted, go ahead and step back into a high lunge with your right foot. Drop that right knee to the ground, flipping the top of your foot to the mat. And we'll move here into a crescent lunge. On an exhale, cactus those arms. Inhale those arms up. And go ahead and plant those hands right around that left foot. From here, slowly begin to inch your left leg out towards the outside of your mat. We're gonna move into lizard. Now you can be as comfortable as you want here, so you can stay up on both palms. You can choose to use your left hand on the inside of that left leg to push out a little bit here for extra stretch. If you would like, you can come down to your forearms. Whatever variation of lizard you're taking, just make sure you maintain a nice steady breath here. Slowly begin to work your way back up. Inch that foot in. And once your foot is in the center, your other leg is centered, go ahead and slowly begin to go back into a half split. Inching those hands up towards the top of your mat. Nice, solid hamstring stretch here. Push back in to that low lunge. And let's sit back into half split again. Low lunge. And we'll come back into a half split. Low lunge. Take an opportunity, tuck those toes on the right hand side, leaving that right hand planted. Go ahead and float that left arm up. Plant that left hand to frame that left foot. Inhale that left leg up. And plant that left foot, downward dog. Go ahead and inhale that right leg up. Sweeping that right leg through to a low lunge. Dropping that left knee down. Flipping that foot so that the top of your foot is on the mat. Go ahead and inhale here, crescent lunge on the right hand side. Exhale, cactus those arms. Inhale, crescent lunge. And bring those hands back down to frame the foot. Take a moment here to inch that right foot out towards the outside of the mat. Blizzard on the right hand side. Maybe you keep your hands up. Maybe use that right hand to slowly and gently push that leg out. If you would like, you can go ahead and bring those forearms down. Slowly begin to inch your hands back up. Inch that foot back in towards the center. And once your knees are closer to the center, go ahead and hinge back into a halfway split. Inching those hands up towards the front of the mat. Inhale up into a low lunge. And exhale, halfway split. Inhale up, low lunge. And exhale, halfway split. Inhale up into a low lunge. Tuck those toes on the left-hand side, leaving your left hand planted on the mat. Inhale that right arm up for an easy twist. Bring that right hand down, frame that foot. Go ahead and inhale that right leg up, three-legged dog. And exhale, bringing that foot down to the mat, downward dog. From here, slowly begin to walk your hands back to meet your feet. Forward fold here at the back of your mat. Grab for opposite elbows. Slowly begin to rise one vertebrae at a time. Turning towards the side of your mat. Inhale your arms up, palms meet, cross at the thumbs. Take a nice big step out to the right side with your right hand. Float your arms down to a T, pushing your bum out behind you. Slowly begin to hinge at your hips. Toes are slightly angled in, heels are slightly angled out. Bringing your hands to the outside of your ankles, outside of your shins, outside of your feet. Just hold. Slowly walk your hands over to the right, bringing your left hand outside to the outside of your right foot. Hold and breathe. We'll meet back in center, inching a little bit more towards the balls of your feet. Maybe you're slowly starting to inch your forehead towards the mat a little bit closer. And then slowly begin to walk your hands over to the right, bringing your right hand to the outside of your left foot. We'll meet back in center. Take your arms out to a T. Slowly begin to rise, hinging at the hips. Inhale your arms above you. Taking your left wrist in your right hand. Nice stretch over to the right hand side. Inhale those arms up. Taking your right wrist into the hands, your left hand. Slowly hinge over to the left. Inhale those arms up. Taking your arms back out to a T. Foot and hinge forward. If it's in your practice, feel free to take an inversion right now. If you would like to stick with me, go and plant your right hand down, slowly grazing your right arm. Bring that left arm up and behind you, taking that gaze up towards the ceiling with your left hand. Bringing that left hand back to the center to meet the mat. Centering that left hand. Slowly float that right hand up towards the ceiling. Floating that right hand back down to the center. Static hold in the middle. Bringing those hands out to your feet. Slowly begin to hinge forward on the balls of your feet. Maybe you bring your forehead to meet the mat. Whatever variation you are, we'll meet back in center. Floating those arms out to a T. Slowly begin to hinge back up. Inhale those arms up. And we're going to rotate on our heels towards the front of your mat. Maybe you inch that back foot in just a little bit, maybe about 3 feet between your front foot and your back foot. From here, you're going to slowly begin to hinge forward. Make sure you're drawing your right hip back, left hip forward. Pyramid pose. On your next inhale, slowly begin to rise all the way straight up. Floating through the center, rotate over to the left-hand side, taking your gaze opposite side. Feet are still 3 feet apart from each other. Left hip shifts back, right hip forward, hinging at the hips. Pyramid pose on the left-hand side. Slowly begin to rise. Hands meet or rotate back to the side of your mat. Go ahead and shift that right foot in and let your arms float down. Go ahead and walk to the top of your mat. Take a seat. And hug your knees in. Begin to roll back and forth a couple of times till you end just laying flat. From here, bring your feet to the outsides of your mat, knees to touch. Arms are relaxed to your sides. Begin to sway your hips back and forth, your legs back and forth, left to right. The next time you end up on the right-hand side, let both of your knees fall over to the right. Your ankles have a 90-degree angle in them. Bring that right ankle to the top of that left knee and just relax. Let it hang heavy. Keeping that left hip grounded. Release. Sway left to right. And when your legs end up on the left-hand side, let your right leg lay static and bring that left ankle up to the right thigh. Slowly begin to sway one last time. Hugging your knees in. Maybe grab for opposite elbows and do some slight rocks back and forth. And nice low back. Giving your low back some love. From here, let your feet meet the ground. Taking your right ankle, crossing it over the left thigh. Figure 4. Stretching, reaching for the outside of your thigh or your calf muscle on the left-hand side. Go ahead and release that left foot to the mat. Let your right foot come to the mat, bringing your left ankle to cross your right thigh. And go ahead and stretch and reach for the outside of your shin on the right hand side. Release your leg. Release your left foot to the mat, hugging those knees in, rocking back and forth. Release your left leg out in front of you, hugging that right leg in to the underarm. Using your left hand to bring that right knee over to the left hand side. Right hand goes out to your right side, taking your gaze over your right hand. Slowly begin to let your right knee cross back onto the other side of the body. Give your right knee a tug and let your right knee meet your left leg. Bring your left leg in, hugging your left knee towards the left underarm. Using your right hand on the outside of that left knee, go ahead and float that right knee to the opposite side of your body, extending that right arm or the left arm out to the left, gaze is over to the left. Keeping your left shoulder anchored to the mat. Let your left ankle, your left knee release, bringing your right knee up. Give yourself a big hug here. Now release the soles of your feet to the ceiling, grabbing for the outside edges of your feet. Take any variation of happy baby that you may be needing. We're heading into Savasana. So if there's any other areas of your body that feel like they need a little bit more love, go ahead and work that out right now. We did a lot of hamstring work today, so maybe you take one leg and extend it straight in your happy baby. If you extend one leg, make sure you balance out. Do the same on the other side. Releasing your legs from happy baby. Give yourself one nice big hug, grabbing for opposite elbows, knees in, and extend your legs out wide on the mat. Arms out to the side, back of the palms hit the mat. Shoulders nice and relaxed away from your ears. Drop your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Maybe have a slight opening in your mouth. And just breathe. Taking your time here to come back to the intention that you set for yourself at the beginning of the class. Breathe. Feel free to stay in Savasana for as long as time allows you to have today. If you like to be guided out, Slowly begin to wiggle your toes and fingers. Make some slow rotations with your wrist and your ankle. Bringing your feet together and your hands together above you. Morning stretch. Rotate into your side. Fetal pose. Slowly, with your eyes closed, begin to push up to a seat. Appreciating the restoration and renewed energy that you will take with you off of your mat today. Let's go ahead and meet with palms in the center. Let's take 3 deep breaths together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last one here. Inhale. And exhale. Namaste.